how to fund a BRRRR deal with no money out of pocket, the gap funding method. Most people who try the BRRRR method hit a wall before they even make an offer. Not because the deal's bad, not because they can't find a hard money lender. That's easy. But because of the gap, the difference between what that lender will give you and what the deal actually costs. So today we'll show you exactly how to fill that gap with $0 out of your own pocket. Let's get into it. I'm Mick Wadley, founder at gapfunded.com. We've helped over 5,000 investors and new business owners across our network access the capital they need to grow and scale to the next level. So what is this all about? What's the BRRRR method? It's when you go and buy, rehab, rent, refinance, and repeat on a property. And specifically how to fund the entire deal without touching your savings. So we want to buy a property or acquire a deal below market value. That's step one. Go on rehab to force the appreciation through renovation. Rent to stabilize that property with a quality tenant. Refinance, pull equity out via cash out refi, and rinse and repeat and scale through that repeatable process. So what's the real cost of a BRRRR deal? When most people plan a BRRRR, they think about the purchase price and the rehab. That's it. But the real cost has 5 components, and ignoring them is what's killing your deals. So there's the down payment. Even with hard money, you're covering 10 to 30% of the purchase price out of pocket. Closing costs, expect 2 to 4% of the loan amount due on the day you close. The initial rehab draw, hard money releases funds in draws, but the first draw comes after you've already spent money starting the project. So once you get the kitchen done, you got to pay that contractor, prove that stage is done before they'll actually pay you for that stage of the project, which is called the draw. We got the holding costs. You're paying interest on the hard money loan every single month while you rehab and stabilize. And then we got cash reserves. Most refinance lenders will require reserves. You can't show up to a DSCR loan with an empty account. So let's have a look at a real deal. 150K purchase, 120K covered by hard money at 80%. The down payment's 30 grand, closing costs 4.5 grand. Then you've got the initial rehab draw gap at 10 grand and the holding costs over 6 months are going to run you 8 grand. So in total, we got this gap. Total out of pocket needed 52.5 grand. That's the number that kills deals. Most investors drain their savings or give away 30 to 50% of the profit to an equity partner. And there is a third option. So this is the 5-tool capital stack. At Gap Funded, we use this 5-tool capital stack, a layered approach to funding every component of a BRRRR deal without using your own money. So we're starting with the hard money loan. This is your primary lender, covers most of the purchase price and the rehab, if you're lucky. Then we've got layer 2. Within 48 to 72 hours, we can typically go and stack together half of your personal annual income to cover the down payment, closing costs, and initial draws. And the beautiful thing about gap funding is it's a fixed rate over 5 years. So it's stretching it out, lowering our monthly repayments with no early pay down penalty. So that's why it works so well for fix and flips, Airbnbs, and even BRRRR deals as well. Layer 3, once we're in the deal, we got 0% business credit card stacking, 0 interest capital liquidated and deployed for the same sort of costs. And the beautiful thing is these typically last for 12 to 18 months on those intro periods. So you can go and get the deal done, 0% interest. And then once you do pay those down, you're eligible to open up new 0% interest cards at a higher limit because you've showed that responsible use. Layer 4, equity from any existing properties. This could be your home or an investment property. We can put it to work on new acquisitions. This is like another credit card backed by the collateral in your home or investment property you already own. The 5th layer is for established business owners. So this is revolving capital you tap and repay as deals move forward. If you do have a business that's been running for a good year, you're doing 20K a month consistently, we can look at business lines of credit as well to scale faster and take on opportunities while you're already tied up in a deal. For a typical BRRRR deal, we combine the first 3 layers, and let's walk through each one in detail. So tool 1, obviously you got your primary lender, your hard money loan, and that's based on the property value, not your income or tax returns, and this makes them the ideal for the foundation of BRRRR investing. What they cover, typically 70 to 80% of the purchase price and 100% of your approved rehab budget released in draws. Now, this does come down to your experience, how many fix and flips or BRRRR deals you've done over the past 2 years. but this is pretty typical for what we could expect. What do the interest rates look like? Typically 10 to 14%, and it is higher than a conventional mortgage, but they close in 5 to 10 business days, so they can move fast if you're dealing with a good operator. The problem though is they don't cover that 20 to 30% gap. That shortfall is exactly what Tool 2 is designed to solve. So hard money is your foundation, fast, flexible, and property value driven, but it is never the whole picture. Tool 2 is gap funding. We can use gap funding to cover the down payment shortfall, closing costs, EMD or earnest money deposit, your first rehab draw before hard money kicks in. And the typical funding range for this will be 20 to 120K approved and deployed in 24 to 72 hours. So expect maybe 40 to 50% of your personal annual income by stacking a few of these offers together in the right order. And the beautiful thing is, this is not an equity partnership where someone takes half your profit. This is not secured against your property. And typically a hard money lender can pull back their approved loan if they find out you've taken an asset-based second lien anyway. So gap funding is unsecured capital based on your credit profile. Typically we can get started at a 650. You pay it off when you refinance out of the hard money loan, and that's your exit. Here's the upside. You keep 100% of your equity and 100% of your profit, no splits, no partners, just structured debt that you pay off when the deal closes. No pay down penalty. Leads us to tool 3. So 0% business credit card stacking. The cards we apply to won't report to your personal utilization. So you can max these out for the duration of the deal, no problem. Liquidate them as cash into your own bank account to be used to pay contractors and keep pumping. So this strategy turns those credit card offers into free capital for 12 to 21 months. And here's the sequence. So first of all, if you haven't already, you form a business entity, ideally an LLC with some credit history. And this can be sorted in 24 to 48 hours for $300 online. We typically recommend doula. Then we go and apply in a strategic sequence. We apply for up to 4 business credit cards at a 0% introductory APR period of 12 to 21 months from issuers like Chase, American Express, Citibank. This specific order maximizes approvals without tanking your score. We then go and liquidate into cash. So convert that credit into deployable cash through legal proven methods, then use it for rehab costs, holding costs, and refinance reserves. If you haven't heard of these platforms like Plastic, Melio, Bill.com, typically it's like a payment processor to turn this into cash. So they charge 2.5 to 3% for that liquidation. Then we go and pay off before the promo ends. If you pay it off before the promotional period ends, you paid 0% interest, and that's essentially free capital over a year. So here's a real client result. One client secured 141K in business credit in just 5 weeks and is already working towards 200K. 21-month max period and 150K max credit stack in one run. So we've gotten clients anywhere from 30 to 150K depending on their profile. So let's look at a real deal walkthrough using these tools stacked together. Let's put it all together, showing you how the 5-tool stack funds a complete BRRRR deal with $0 out of pocket. Let's look at a 140K purchase price. ARV or after repair value will be 210K. The rehab budget was 45 grand. Always allow a 10% overrun. After repair rent, you're going to be renting out for a 1.6K. And this is all based on local comps. So you've put these into your calculations. You know what you're walking into because the hard money lender will want to know your exit strategy as well. And they'll come in, they'll cover 80% of the purchase, 45 grand, the rehab budget if you've got a good profile, and they're going to give you that 157K. So we're left with a funding gap of 54.2 grand. That's 28K down payment, 4.2 in closing, the initial rehab draw, 9 grand, holding costs for 5 months, 7K, and refinance reserves of 6 grand required for refi cash out. Now, how we fund it is we do the gap funding. We get that rapid capital into your bank account for closing and then back it up with the 0% business credit, 25K. So you're ending up with the whole funding gap covered, none of your own money. 6 months later, we're looking at the refinance. So the ARV is 210, 75% cash out refi. You pull in 157K, 500 out, paying off all the debt, pay down the hard money, the gap funding, and the business credit cards. The cash flowing asset of 1.6 grand a month becomes your foundation for a DSCR payment of $900 a month. So you're netting now $700 a month moving forward. And then we're going to go and repeat. Zero of your own cash left in the deal. The BRRRR method, fully funded. So here's some mistakes we see every day of the week. Gap funding and business credit stacking are powerful, but only when executed correctly. These are the 4 mistakes that derail investors before they ever close. So number 1, the wrong sequence. Applying for gap funding and business credit at the wrong time can affect your hard money approval. Sequencing matters, especially there's a reason we go for gap funding before the business credit stack as well. And there's a strict order of operations that must be followed. Number 2 is underestimating the refinance timeline. So your DSCR lender needs the property stabilized, tenanted, for 3 to 6 months. So plan for 8 to 10 months of holding costs. Underestimating this is one of the most common and costly errors. Mistake number 3 is too thin on your margins. Gap funding, it's not a magic trick. If the deal only has 15K of profit, adding debt costs will eat it alive. So minimum net profit on a BRRRR should be 30K or more after all financing costs. Mistake number 4 is the wrong gap lender. Not every lender structures this for the real estate investors. The wrong product can actually conflict with your hard money lender's seasoning requirements, and lender selection matters. It's not something to guess about. So what do you do next? The BRRRR method is one of the most powerful wealth building strategies in real estate, but most investors never get past deal 2 or 3 because they run out of capital. So the 5 tools stack solves the problem permanently. We got your hard money, your gap funding, your 0% business credit. If you've got equity in a home or an investment, we can go and use HELOCs. If you've got a running business, we can use those business lines of credit as well to scale faster. You don't have to drain your savings. You don't have to give up equity. You just have to know how to structure it. So if you're ready to find out what you qualify for, and if you got a deal you're working on right now, or you want to know exactly what you'd qualify before you even make an offer, go and book a funding review. It's free and takes 2 minutes. I'm Mick Wadley. Let's go and close something.